My name is Brian, and what I'm about to tell you happened to me in the year 2000. The experience I had is something I still cannot explain. It was something supernatural, something I had always believed was just a legend. I had gone to spend my vacation in the town of Joanópolis, located along the Fernão Dias Highway, about 113 kilometers from São Paulo's capital. So there I was, in Joanópolis, enjoying my vacation. The small, quiet town seemed like the perfect place to relax. But that night, everything changed. It was a full moon night. The kind of night you'd swear had come straight out of a horror movie. I was walking down the deserted streets, since it was already past midnight. The sound of crickets filled the air when I suddenly heard a strange howl. A howl that made my heart freeze. I looked around and saw glowing eyes in the darkness. They looked like the eyes of a wolf, but they weren't normal. Then something emerged from the shadows. Something that could only be described as a flesh and blood werewolf. My legs trembled, sweat dripping from my forehead as I stood there frozen in fear. The creature came closer, its gray fur and sharp teeth on display. It was real, terrifyingly real. At that moment, survival instinct took over. I turned and ran like never before, the sound of its paws echoing behind me. Adrenaline surged through my veins as I tried desperately to escape that supernatural beast. The werewolf's howl echoed after me, closer and closer, more terrifying each time. I had no idea how to deal with such a situation. Panting, fear consuming me from the inside, I ran toward the city. The few cars passing by on the road must have thought I was some desperate madman. Finally, I reached a brighter, busier part of town. The lights from houses and shops gave me a fleeting sense of safety. But I knew the werewolf was still out there, waiting in the shadows. I decided to hide in a narrow, dark alley, hoping the creature would lose my trail. My heart pounded so loudly that I feared the werewolf might hear it. Time seemed to slow down as I waited, listening for any sign of the beast. For now, silence prevailed, leaving me in that tormenting uncertainty of when, or if, the werewolf would come for me. I remained in the alley, heart in my throat, trying to steady my breathing. Time passed slowly, the silence oppressive. My mind was filled with frightening thoughts of what could happen next. Suddenly, a low, sinister sound echoed nearby. It was a deep, threatening growl that chilled my blood. The creature was close, waiting patiently for me. As my eyes adjusted to the darkness, I saw the werewolf's shadow slowly approaching. It was large, covered in fur, and moved with terrifying agility. I knew I didn't have much time. Fear consumed me, but so did a fierce determination to survive. I needed to find a way out. With my heart racing uncontrollably, I searched frantically for an escape or a safer hiding place. The fight for my life was only beginning, and the werewolf was determined to hunt me down. The night's darkness closed in around me, turning every corner of the city into a potential death trap. The shadows in the alley seemed to shrink as the creature drew nearer. My hands shook as I clutched a rusty can and a piece of wood, my fingers turning white from the grip. Then, the creature appeared. Its yellow eyes glowed with hunger, and a guttural growl echoed through the alley. It was now or never. With a scream of pure terror and courage, I charged forward, smashing the can against the ground. The deafening noise startled the werewolf, making it recoil for a moment. That was the chance I needed. I struck with the piece of wood, blow after blow, driven by desperation and survival instinct. The fight was horrifying, but with one final desperate strike, I managed to push the creature back just enough to escape the alley. I ran through the dark streets, blood dripping from my wounds. The werewolf howled in rage, but it was injured. I escaped that night, but the werewolf left its mark on me, a terrifying memory that would haunt my dreams forever. As time went on, I realized I wasn't the only one to have encountered this dark creature. The townsfolk of Joanópolis began whispering about mysterious sightings, haunting howls at night, and unexplained disappearances. The city became a place where the supernatural and horror were part of everyday life. I knew I could never forget that night. Evil was out there, hiding in the shadows, and I couldn't ignore the fact that, sooner or later, it might return for revenge. What else lurked in the darkness of that seemingly peaceful town? The answer remained hidden, but I was prepared to face whatever came my way, as the howls of that terrible werewolf echoed in my mind, a constant reminder of the horror I lived in that city.